What's up, treasure hunters? So I just got to the antique mall that I did a video a while back before all this corona crap. But I'm going to check it out again, see if I can find anything cool. So let's go check it out. from the antique mall. I did find a couple good buys there, but I didn't come close to seeing everything. That place is absolutely enormous. I also stopped at Goodwill on the way home and found some other things. So I wanted to go over those items with you. And I also wanted to go over antique malls in general. If you're not familiar with what an antique mall is, or if you've never been to one, they're really great places to check out if you're into any kind of old vintage things. There's a huge variety of different things that you can look through, and generally they have some really good prices. So basically, an antique mall is just a huge facility where anyone can rent little spaces within that antique mall and sell anything they want. They set up their booth themselves with the display cases, shelves. They price all the items themselves. They do research or they don't. You can sell basically anything there. So anything from toys, vintage toys, to furniture, to pottery, glass, old signs, old military stuff, you name it, you could probably find it somewhere at an antique mall. And then every price tag that they put on has their booth number, so that sale, somebody buys one of their items, that money is, put into their account that I think they get paid out monthly for whatever they sell there. And vendors that want to rent a space, every antique mall is different, but most of the time, it's some kind of monthly rent, and sometimes even the antique malls require any of the vendors to work a certain amount of days, like walking the floor or checking out customers or all of that. So the cool thing about antique malls, I mentioned the variety of things, but also it is the ability to find, because, everybody in there is selling their own stuff. So it's a lot different from an antique store. If you go to an antique store, it's likely owned by someone that knows antiques, that has a good idea on retail prices for different items. Whereas in an antique mall, it could just be, a little old lady trying to get rid of some things. It could be somebody that, has collected a bunch of stuff and wants to try to make some extra money. So not everybody in there selling knows everything about what they're selling. So there are some good buys to be found. So there's just a much better chance of finding some value within some of the items being sold. And another good thing about antique malls is people are constantly adding new things to their shop or their booth. So that could, you could go to an antique mall one day and go a couple days later and see a whole bunch of different new things that weren't there before. And also, especially the one I went to, it's huge. So you could go down one side of the antique mall one trip and down the other, and you'll see completely different things. So they're pretty cool. So if there's one nearby, I would recommend checking it out and seeing what you can find. So I looked at plenty of things while I was there and came home with 3 items. I almost came home with 4. There was a huge, really nicely hand-carved wooden catfish, which really caught my eye, especially with the detail and how it was done. It was really cool looking, but it was just a bit too expensive at $80. And shipping that thing would have been a nightmare also. So taking in all of that into consideration, I left it back. If it was about half that price, I probably would have bought it, but I left it for somebody else to take home. So the first thing that I found here was this art glass sculpture of a fish, and I got this for $10. It is signed on the bottom Susan Gott, and it's dated 1989. I looked her work up, and it's selling, the stuff that I did see. There was just a normal sized vase that was selling for like $200 or $300 and stuff. And this looks like it's probably her earlier work. I didn't notice when I bought it because it's really not that evident, but there is, it looks to be repaired here. The top fin must have broken off, but still at $10, I would have bought it anyways, even if I hadn't noticed that before, because I know I can still make a profit off of it. But it's pretty unique and a cool find at the end of an antique mall trip. The next thing I found here was also a art glass sculpture, and this is of a bull, and this one is signed, and this was done by Lucio Zanetti, and it's I don't know if you'll be able to, probably won't be able to see that signature, but this is in really good condition. There is no damage to it. There's not even any scratches or anything, but I thought this definitely jumped right out at me when I was looking through the different items. So I got this for $24.50, which is a pretty good buy. When I actually looked the prices of this up, it was lower than I initially thought it was going to be, but this is a big sculpture. It's heavy, and I definitely think that, you know, I should be able to sell it for 75 or 100 bucks. And the last thing I found here is this studio pottery teapot. But the reason why I got it is just because it's so unique. It's actually an elephant. You can see its feet down here, and the trunk is the spout of the teapot. It's really nicely done, and it's in perfect condition. It is signed on the bottom, and it's from North Carolina. I know the first name is Suzanne, but I haven't been able to figure out what the last name is yet. But I got this for $12.50, which is a really good deal. Teapots usually sell pretty well, and you know, you can make a decent amount of money off them. So this was just so unique, and I like even how the tail kind of curves. It's the handle, but it curves off to the side and stuff. So kind of a cool piece, but I'll definitely be able to make a profit off of this. So in addition to those 3 items that I found at the antique mall, I also stopped at Goodwill and found some other items. Now, all of these items aren't from my stop that same day, but they all are pretty much over the weekend, things that I found at a couple different Goodwills. So the first thing here is this glass vase. This is a Costa Boda vase. It is etched here on the bottom and still has the original sticker. It's really thick and heavy. I got this for $4.39, and this type of art glass you can buy at, like, you know, Macy's or Dillard's or whatever, but you know, these sell new for 100 bucks. So for $4.39, definitely make a profit off of this. Another piece of glass here that I found is this hand-blown art glass vase, and this is also signed R. Kobe, which is Robert Kobe, and it's really cool, just the way this is designed with different shades of green, and it's in really good condition. And I also got this for, I think it was $4.99, so definitely a cool buy here. I don't really know what I'm going to price this for yet. Probably something around 60 or 70 bucks or something, but definitely worth it. I should be able to make a good profit off of this. Next thing here, I found this tiny stoneware vase, and this is only $2.19, and I got it because I thought I recognized there's just a JJ little inside signature on the bottom, and I thought I recognized that, but I haven't been able to find it again. So either way, this is only $2.19, and I'm not really worried about it. So next thing I found here is this matte green art pottery vase, and I actually already sold one of the exact same vases except in a matte blue that I found at a Goodwill also. But this is done by Zanesville Stoneware, like early 20th century, and it still has a price tag. I got it for $4.99, and the reason why I know that it's Zanesville is this 37. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a 37 incised here on the bottom, which is the same number as the last vase that I sold. So for $4.99, I think I sold the last one for close to 100 bucks, 125 or something. And this is in really good condition. There's no chips or damages to it. So I was excited to see another one of these at the thrift store. So these next 3 pieces I'm about to show you, I found all on my trip home from the antique mall, which is pretty cool. The first one here is this limited edition lithograph with also a stamp here at the bottom. This was done by Charles, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Frossi or Fracci or something, but this is from the 1983 National Retriever Club stamp and print, and it is numbered 1670 out of 2382, and it's hand signed. I got this for $10.99, but I thought it was a pretty cool piece. I haven't really looked up the exact value of this, but for $10.99, some of his other work that wasn't part of this Retriever Club, selling in the hundreds or low hundreds or whatever. So I'll have to look this up, but definitely a good find for $10.99. So this next piece here I found, I bet it was from the same owner as the piece I just showed you, because it also has some black labs. But this one is actually hand painted by Reuben Ward Binks, and he was born in England in the 1800s, and he's well known for his pet portraits, especially his dog portraits. And this one actually has 5 different dogs here with their names all underneath, and this is dated 1927. There is a gallery sticker from Charlottesville, Virginia here on the back, and I got this for $6.99. Now his work varied pretty greatly in price from auctions and stuff, but the lowest I saw, was like $200 or $300, and some of his other work, was selling in the thousands. But I did not see any of his work that had 5 different portraits on one. The works that were selling in the thousands were like full paintings of dogs with like background, like out, in the wilderness or hunting or whatever it might be. So I don't really know exactly what I would price this for, but it was a super good buy for $6.99. It's really well done. He was obviously an expert in painting pets and dogs and stuff, so I was excited to find this piece. So the last piece I found on my way home was this photograph. Now, this, when I was looking through, I actually saw the back first, and this is Rose and Driftwood, which is a famous photograph by really famous photographer Ansel Adams, and it says San Francisco, 1932. And then here on the bottom, it just says custom framed by, but then it says ho ho ho, Santa 1986. So this was actually framed in 1986, which means this photo is older than 1986. Now, this could be worth next to nothing, or it could be worth quite a bit. I don't really know too much about how to tell what type of photo this is, but if this were to be like a silver gelatin photo, which was done, early to mid 20th century is how they printed the photos, then this could be worth quite a bit of money. If it's just like a regular print done afterwards, then it's probably not worth that much. But anytime I see anything, especially Ansel Adams, which is a photograph, not some poster or something, you definitely want to buy that just in case. I took this out of the frame. I can't see the back of the photo because it is glued down to the matting. So I didn't see, there's no signature or anything on the front. But I need to figure out, how this was printed. If it's older, a lot of his prints were done in the 50s and 60s. If it's a silver gelatin print from that point, then this could be quite valuable. If not, then again, probably not. But either way, it's a super cool print. He did a ton of, he was basically known for photographing the West. He did a lot of photographs of Yosemite and nature photographs. So it's, you know, look up his name and you'll see all sorts of great photography, and his work is, you know, his original work is super valuable. Yeah, this is definitely a cool find, and just got to learn a little bit more. So this next piece here I found is a watercolor of a clipper ship, and there is some writing here at the bottom. It's dated 1959, but pretty sure this writing is in German, so I have no idea what it says. It is signed though by Klaus Menskes. It's really well done. I really like nautical paintings and stuff, and they seem to sell pretty well. I got this for $10.99, and there is a German sticker on the back, so most likely this did actually come from Germany. But this was a cool piece, definitely to find. I just don't know, you know, it's definitely worth a lot more than $10.99. I just don't know what I would price it for. I'd have to do some more research, but pretty cool piece for that price. So the last piece here I found is this portrait of these three children. It's a painting. It's really old. You can tell just by how they're dressed and everything. I don't see a signature or anything anywhere. And it is kind of creepy, but it's also super interesting. And then on the back, there are names of the three children, and then it also says children of, and then it has the mother and father. So I really don't know anything about this, but this was only like, I think this was $10.99, and I couldn't pass it up just due to the age and the uniqueness of it. So this is definitely something I'd have to do some more research on to see if it has any kind of real value. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the different items that I found. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will answer them as soon as I can. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe soon. I'm giving away an item, one of my treasures, every month free to one of my subscribers, which will be randomly chosen. So make sure to subscribe. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back soon with some more videos. And as always, good luck out there treasure hunting.